What if the key to navigating the chaos of modern life has been hiding in plain sight for over 2,000 years? Picture this: you're stuck in traffic, late for an important meeting, and your phone is buzzing with notifications. Stress is mounting, and you feel like the world is spinning out of control. Now imagine a different approach, one where you remain calm, focused, and unshaken, no matter what life throws at you. This isn't just a fantasy. It's the essence of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that offers timeless wisdom for the challenges we face today. Stoicism teaches us how to find peace in a world full of uncertainty, how to focus on what truly matters, and how to build resilience in the face of adversity. It's not about suppressing emotions or avoiding life's difficulties. Instead, it's about mastering your mind, embracing what you can control, and letting go of what you can't. In this video, we'll explore 20 powerful Stoic lessons that can transform the way you live. From learning to focus on what's within your control to embracing the present moment, these principles are practical, actionable, and deeply relevant to our modern lives. Whether you're dealing with stress at work, navigating relationships, or simply trying to find more meaning in your day-to-day life, Stoicism has something to offer. So, if you're ready to discover how ancient wisdom can help you thrive in today's fast-paced world, stay with us. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with tools and insights that can help you live a more fulfilling, resilient, and purposeful life. Let's dive in. Now, let's begin with the first and perhaps most foundational Stoic lesson, focusing on what you can control. At its core, Stoicism teaches us to clearly distinguish between what is within our power and what lies beyond it. Think of it like this: your thoughts, your actions, and your reactions are entirely up to you. These are the things you can influence directly. On the other hand, external events, other people's opinions, or even the weather, these are outside your control. This simple yet profound distinction is a game changer. Imagine you're preparing for a big presentation at work. You've done everything you can to prepare. You've practiced, researched, and organized your materials. But on the day of the presentation, technical issues delay your start, or the audience seems disengaged. Here's where Stoicism steps in. Instead of stressing over the things you can't change, like the tech glitch or the audience's mood, you focus on what you can control: your composure, your delivery, and your ability to adapt. By shifting your attention to what's within your power, you reduce unnecessary stress and regain a sense of agency. This mindset doesn't just apply to work. It's equally powerful in relationships, health, or even daily inconveniences. For instance, you can't control how someone else behaves, but you can control how you respond. You can't control a sudden illness, but you can control how you manage your recovery. This principle isn't about ignoring the challenges of life. It's about recognizing where your energy is best spent. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you free yourself from frustration and open the door to clearer thinking and better decision-making. It's like lifting a weight off your shoulders. You suddenly feel lighter, more focused, and ready to tackle whatever comes your way. So, the next time you find yourself overwhelmed by circumstances, pause and ask, what's within my control? By focusing on that, you'll not only reduce stress but also empower yourself to take meaningful action. And as we'll see in the next section, this mindset isn't just theoretical. It's something you can practice every single day. Now that we've explored the core idea of focusing on what you can control, let's dive into how you can put this Stoic principle into practice in your everyday life. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its practicality. It's not just a philosophy to ponder, but a tool to live by. Start with relationships. Whether it's a disagreement with a friend, a misunderstanding with a partner, or a challenging coworker, it's easy to feel frustrated when others don't behave the way we'd like. But here's the Stoic approach. Instead of trying to change them, focus on how you respond. You can't control their actions, but you can control your patience, your empathy, and your willingness to communicate calmly. A simple practice here is to pause before reacting. Take a deep breath, remind yourself of what's within your control, and choose a response that aligns with your values. Next, consider your work or personal goals. Let's say you're working on a project, and despite your best efforts, things aren't going as planned. Maybe deadlines are tight, or unexpected obstacles keep popping up. Instead of stressing over the setbacks, focus on what you can do. Break the project into smaller, manageable tasks. Prioritize what's most important and let go of perfectionism. Remember, your effort is within your control, the outcome isn't. Journaling can be a powerful tool here. At the end of each day, write down what went well, what challenges you faced, and how you responded. This reflection helps reinforce the mindset of focusing on your actions rather than external results. Another practical application is in managing daily inconveniences. Traffic, long lines, or a spilled cup of coffee, these small frustrations can add up if we let them. But Stoicism teaches us to see these moments as opportunities to practice control over our reactions. Instead of getting annoyed, try reframing the situation. Use the time in traffic to listen to a podcast or practice mindfulness. Turn the spilled coffee into a chance to slow down and start your morning with intention. Finally, mindfulness exercises can help you stay grounded in this Stoic mindset. One simple technique is the pause and reflect practice. Throughout the day, take a moment to check in with yourself. Ask, what's within my control right now? This small habit can help you stay focused and reduce stress over time. By applying these practical tips, you'll find that the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control becomes second nature. It's not about ignoring life's challenges, but about meeting them with clarity and purpose. And as we move forward, you'll see how this mindset connects to the next lesson, embracing the present moment. Now that we've explored how focusing on what you can control can transform your daily life, let's shift our attention to another powerful Stoic lesson, embracing the present moment. This principle is all about grounding yourself in the here and now, rather than getting lost in regrets about the past or anxieties about the future. The Stoics believed that the present moment is the only reality we truly have. The past is gone and the future is uncertain. Worrying about what's already happened or what might happen only robs us of the peace and clarity available to us right now. By learning to live fully in the present, we can cultivate a deeper sense of gratitude and reduce the weight of unnecessary stress. Think about it. How often do we find ourselves replaying old mistakes or imagining worst-case scenarios? These habits can leave us feeling stuck or overwhelmed, but Stoicism offers a different perspective. Instead of dwelling on what's beyond our reach, we can choose to focus on what's right in front of us. This shift in mindset not only helps us appreciate the small joys of life, but also allows us to respond to challenges with greater calm and resilience. For example, imagine you're having a meal with loved ones. Instead of letting your mind wander to tomorrow's to-do list or yesterday's unfinished tasks, try to fully engage in the moment. Notice the flavors of the food, the warmth of the conversation, and the connection you share. This simple act of presence can turn an ordinary meal into a meaningful experience. Embracing the present moment also helps us build gratitude. When we're fully aware of what's happening around us, we're more likely to notice the good things we often take for granted: a kind word, a beautiful sunset, or even a moment of quiet. Gratitude, in turn, shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, creating a sense of abundance and contentment. And let's not forget how this practice reduces anxiety. When we stop projecting ourselves into an uncertain future or revisiting a past we can't change, we free ourselves from the mental clutter that fuels worry. Instead, we can channel our energy into what's happening right now, where we have the power to act and make a difference. As we move forward, we'll explore practical techniques to help you stay grounded in the present moment, from mindfulness exercises to daily reflection practices. But for now, take a moment to reflect on this idea. The present is where life happens. By embracing it fully, you open yourself to a deeper sense of peace, gratitude, and fulfillment. And as we'll see, this lesson ties beautifully into the next Stoic principle, accepting what you cannot change. Now that we've explored the importance of embracing the present moment, let's dive into some practical techniques to help you stay grounded and fully engaged in the here and now. These tools, rooted in Stoic philosophy, can be easily incorporated into your daily routine to cultivate mindfulness and reduce distractions. One of the most effective ways to anchor yourself in the present is through meditation. This doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. Start with just 5 minutes a day. Find a quiet space, sit comfortably, and focus on your breath. Notice the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. When your mind inevitably wanders, and it will, gently bring your attention back to your breath. This simple practice trains your mind to stay present, helping you build the habit of returning to the moment whenever you feel pulled into the past or future. Another powerful technique is mindful breathing. Throughout the day, take a few moments to pause and take 3 deep breaths. Inhale slowly, feeling your chest rise, and exhale fully, releasing any tension. This quick exercise can act as a reset button, bringing you back to the present and calming your mind. It's especially useful during stressful moments, like before a big meeting or after a challenging conversation. Daily reflection is another Stoic practice that fosters mindfulness. At the end of each day, set aside a few minutes to review your actions and thoughts. Ask yourself questions like, where did my mind wander today? Or, what moments did I fully experience? This reflection not only helps you identify patterns of distraction, but also reinforces your commitment to living in the present. Over time, you'll become more aware of when you're drifting and better equipped to bring yourself back to the moment. For those who prefer a more active approach, try grounding exercises that engage your senses. For example, when you're walking, pay attention to the feeling of your feet touching the ground, the sounds around you, and the sights you pass. This practice, often called mindful walking, turns a routine activity into an opportunity for presence. Similarly, when eating, focus on the taste, texture, and aroma of your food. These small acts of mindfulness can transform ordinary moments into meaningful experiences. Finally, consider keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're thankful for. This practice not only shifts your focus to the present, but also helps you appreciate the abundance already in your life. By regularly acknowledging the good around you, you train your mind to notice and savor the present moment. These techniques are simple yet transformative. They don't require special equipment or hours of practice, just a willingness to pause, breathe, and engage with the world around you. As you incorporate these habits into your life, you'll find it easier to stay grounded, even in the midst of chaos. And as we'll see next, this ability to remain present ties directly into the Stoic principle of accepting what you cannot change. Now that we've explored practical techniques for staying present, let's shift our focus to a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, accepting what you cannot change. This principle is about recognizing that while we can't control external events, we can control how we respond to them. It's a mindset that frees us from unnecessary suffering and helps us navigate life's uncertainties with grace. Imagine you're caught in a sudden rainstorm without an umbrella. You could spend the entire time frustrated, wishing the rain would stop, or you could accept the situation and adapt. Maybe you'll walk a little faster, find shelter, or even laugh at the absurdity of it all. The rain itself isn't the problem, it's your resistance to it that creates discomfort. This simple analogy reflects the Stoic approach to life. Instead of fighting what's beyond your control, focus on how you can respond constructively. History offers powerful examples of this principle in action. Take the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, who faced countless challenges during his reign, from political turmoil to military threats. Instead of lamenting his circumstances, he chose to accept them and focus on what he could control. his own actions and mindset. His writings in Meditations reveal a man who understood the futility of resisting the inevitable and instead channeled his energy into living virtuously, even in the face of adversity. On a personal level, acceptance can transform how we handle setbacks. Think about a time when something didn't go as planned, a job rejection, a cancelled trip, or a misunderstanding with a loved one. In those moments, resistance often leads to frustration and regret. But when we practice acceptance, we open ourselves to new possibilities. Maybe that job rejection leads to a better opportunity, or the cancelled trip gives you time to rest and reflect. By letting go of what you can't change, you create space for growth and resilience. Acceptance doesn't mean passivity or resignation. It's about acknowledging reality as it is without judgment or resistance, and then deciding how to move forward. This mindset is especially valuable during difficult times. For instance, when faced with illness or loss, acceptance allows us to process our emotions without being consumed by them. It helps us find meaning and strength even in the face of hardship. As we'll see next, this ability to accept what we cannot change is closely tied to building resilience. By embracing life's uncertainties, we develop the emotional strength to face challenges head-on, knowing that our power lies not in controlling the world around us, but in how we choose to respond to it. Now that we've explored the power of acceptance, let's take a closer look at how this mindset builds resilience and emotional strength. Resilience isn't about avoiding challenges or pretending everything is fine. It's about facing difficulties head-on, knowing that you have the inner resources to handle them. Acceptance is the foundation of this strength because it allows us to stop wasting energy on what we can't change and instead focus on what we can do. One of the most effective ways to build resilience through acceptance is by reframing challenges as opportunities for growth. Think of a tree that grows stronger roots when faced with strong winds. In the same way, when we accept life's storms, we develop deeper emotional roots that help us stand firm. For example, if you're dealing with a setback at work, instead of dwelling on the frustration, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this experience? This shift in perspective turns obstacles into stepping stones, helping you emerge stronger and more capable. Another strategy is to practice self-compassion during tough times. Resilience doesn't mean being tough on yourself or suppressing your emotions. It means acknowledging your feelings without judgment and treating yourself with kindness. When you accept your emotions, whether it's sadness, anger, or fear, you create space to process them healthily. This emotional honesty is key to building resilience, as it prevents you from becoming overwhelmed or stuck in negativity. Visualization is another powerful tool for cultivating resilience. Take a few moments each day to imagine yourself navigating a difficult situation with calm and confidence. Picture yourself accepting the challenge, adapting to it, and finding a way forward. This mental rehearsal prepares you to handle real-life challenges with greater ease because your mind has already practiced the process of acceptance and problem-solving. Finally, resilience is strengthened by community. Surround yourself with people who support and encourage you, especially during tough times. Sharing your struggles with trusted friends or mentors can provide new perspectives and remind you that you're not alone. Acceptance becomes easier when you know you have a network of people who believe in you and your ability to overcome adversity. By practicing acceptance and these strategies, you'll find that resilience becomes a natural part of your mindset. You'll start to see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to grow stronger and more adaptable. And as we'll see next, this resilience is closely tied to another Stoic principle, living in harmony with nature, which teaches us to align our actions with the natural flow of life. Now that we've explored how resilience grows from acceptance, let's turn our attention to another powerful Stoic practice, gratitude. Gratitude is more than just saying, "Thank you." It's a mindset that shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already have. This simple yet profound shift can transform how we experience life, bringing a sense of fulfillment and peace even in the midst of challenges. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from within, not from external possessions or achievements. By practicing gratitude, we train our minds to appreciate the present moment and the blessings we often take for granted. Think about it. When was the last time you paused to truly appreciate the roof over your head, the food on your table, or the people who care about you? These are the things that matter most, yet they're easy to overlook when we're caught up in chasing more. Gratitude also helps us reframe difficulties. When life feels overwhelming, taking a moment to acknowledge the good things, no matter how small, can provide a much-needed perspective shift. For example, if you're stuck in traffic, instead of focusing on the frustration, you might choose to appreciate the time to listen to your favorite podcast or enjoy a moment of quiet. This doesn't mean ignoring problems, but rather balancing them with a recognition of what's still going right. One of the most effective ways to cultivate gratitude is through daily reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be grand or extraordinary. Sometimes it's the little things, like a kind word from a stranger or a beautiful sunset, that make the biggest impact. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to notice and appreciate the positive aspects of life, even during tough times. Another way to deepen your gratitude practice is by expressing it to others. When you thank someone sincerely, you not only strengthen your relationships but also reinforce your own sense of appreciation. Gratitude is contagious. It creates a ripple effect that uplifts both the giver and the receiver. By making gratitude a regular part of your life, you'll find that it becomes a source of inner strength and joy. It reminds us that even when life isn't perfect, there's always something to be thankful for. And as we'll see next, this mindset of appreciation ties beautifully into the Stoic principle of living in harmony with nature, where we learn to align our actions with the natural flow of life. Now that we've seen how gratitude can transform our mindset, let's dive into some practical ways to make it a daily habit. One of the simplest and most effective rituals is keeping a gratitude journal. Each evening, take a few minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big or life-changing. Sometimes it's the small moments, like a warm cup of coffee in the morning or a kind word from a colleague, that hold the most meaning. Over time, this practice helps you notice and appreciate the good in your life, even on the toughest days. Another powerful ritual is starting your day with gratitude. Before you reach for your phone or dive into your to-do list, take a moment to mentally list 3 things you're thankful for. This sets a positive tone for the day and reminds you of what truly matters. It's like giving your mind a gentle nudge toward appreciation before the busyness of life takes over. If writing isn't your thing, try a gratitude walk. As you stroll, focus on the things around you that bring you joy: the sound of birds, the feel of the sun on your skin, or the sight of blooming flowers. This not only cultivates gratitude but also grounds you in the present moment, combining 2 powerful Stoic practices in one. For those who enjoy a more interactive approach, consider sharing your gratitude with others. Each day, make it a point to thank someone, whether it's a family member, a friend, or even a stranger who held the door open for you. Expressing gratitude out loud not only strengthens your relationships but also deepens your own sense of appreciation. Finally, don't underestimate the power of reflection. At the end of the week, look back at your gratitude entries or moments. Notice any patterns or recurring themes. This reflection helps you see the abundance in your life and reinforces the habit of focusing on the positive. By incorporating these rituals into your daily routine, you'll find that gratitude becomes second nature. It's not about ignoring life's challenges, but about balancing them with a steady awareness of the good. And as we'll explore next, this mindset of appreciation naturally leads us to the Stoic principle of living in harmony with nature, where we learn to align our actions with the natural flow of life. Now that we've explored how gratitude can anchor us in the present and enrich our lives, let's turn our attention to something even more foundational in Stoicism: cultivating inner virtue. The Stoics believed that true fulfillment doesn't come from external achievements or possessions, but from developing virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These virtues aren't just abstract ideas, they're practical tools that guide us toward ethical living and a meaningful life. Wisdom, for instance, is about seeing the world clearly and making thoughtful decisions. It's the ability to discern what truly matters and act accordingly, even when emotions or external pressures try to pull us in another direction. Courage, on the other hand, isn't just about physical bravery. It's the strength to face challenges, stand up for what's right, and stay true to your principles, even when it's uncomfortable or unpopular. Justice in the Stoic sense goes beyond laws and rules. It's about treating others with fairness, kindness, and respect, recognizing that we're all part of a larger community. And temperance is the art of self-control, knowing when to say no, when to pause, and when to act with moderation. Together, these virtues form a framework for living a life of integrity and purpose. But how do we apply these virtues in our modern lives? Start by reflecting on your actions and decisions. Ask yourself, am I acting with wisdom in this situation? Am I showing courage in the face of this challenge? Am I treating others with justice and fairness? And am I practicing temperance in my desires and impulses? These questions can serve as a compass, guiding you toward virtuous behavior in everyday moments. For example, imagine you're in a heated argument with a colleague. Instead of reacting impulsively, you pause and ask yourself how wisdom and justice might guide your response. Or perhaps you're tempted to overindulge in something, whether it's food, spending, or screen time. Temperance reminds you to step back and consider what's truly best for your well-being. The beauty of these virtues is that they're not fixed traits but skills we can develop over time. Every decision, every interaction is an opportunity to practice them. And as we do, we not only improve ourselves but also contribute to a better world around us. As we move forward, we'll explore how these virtues connect to another key Stoic principle: detaching from external outcomes. Because when we focus on cultivating inner virtue, we find that the results of our actions matter less than the integrity with which we act. Now that we've explored the core Stoic virtues and how they shape our character, let's take a closer look at how we can bring these principles into our modern, everyday lives. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its practicality. It's not just a philosophy to ponder, but a way of living that can transform how we navigate the challenges of today's world. Let's start with the workplace, where many of us spend a significant portion of our time. Imagine you're leading a team project and tensions are running high. Wisdom reminds you to step back and assess the situation objectively, rather than reacting impulsively to stress or conflict. You might ask yourself, what's the most constructive way to move forward? How can I communicate clearly and thoughtfully to resolve misunderstandings? By applying wisdom, you create a space for collaboration rather than confrontation. Courage comes into play when you need to advocate for what's right, even if it's unpopular. Perhaps you notice unethical behavior or a decision that could harm your team or company. Courage gives you the strength to speak up, not out of anger or self-interest, but from a place of integrity. It's about doing the right thing, even when it's difficult or risky. Justice shines in how we treat our colleagues. It's about fairness, respect, and recognizing the value each person brings to the table. For instance, if a coworker is overlooked for a promotion despite their hard work, justice might prompt you to advocate for them or ensure their contributions are acknowledged. It's about creating an environment where everyone feels valued and supported. Temperance, meanwhile, helps us maintain balance in high-pressure environments. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and lose sight of our well-being. Temperance reminds us to set boundaries, whether it's saying no to an unrealistic deadline, taking breaks to recharge, or avoiding the temptation to overwork ourselves. By practicing moderation, we protect our health and sustain our ability to perform at our best. In personal relationships, these virtues are equally transformative. Wisdom helps us navigate conflicts with loved ones by encouraging us to listen deeply and respond with empathy rather than defensiveness. Courage allows us to have difficult conversations, whether it's addressing a hurtful behavior or expressing vulnerability. Justice guides us to treat our partners, friends, and family with fairness and kindness, even when emotions run high. And temperance helps us manage our impulses, whether it's resisting the urge to lash out in anger or overindulging in habits that harm our relationships. The key is to see every interaction as an opportunity to practice these virtues. When you're stuck in traffic, temperance helps you stay calm instead of succumbing to frustration. When you're faced with a tough decision, wisdom helps you weigh your options thoughtfully. When you're tempted to take the easy way out, courage pushes you to do what's right. And in every moment, justice reminds you to act with fairness and compassion toward others. By weaving these virtues into the fabric of our daily lives, we not only improve ourselves but also create a ripple effect that touches everyone around us. As we move forward, we'll explore how these principles connect to another powerful Stoic idea: detaching from external outcomes. Because when we focus on living virtuously, we find that the results of our actions matter less than the integrity with which we act. Now, let's shift our focus to a powerful Stoic principle that can transform how we approach our goals and challenges: detaching from external outcomes. At its core, this lesson teaches us to focus on what we can control, our effort, intentions, and actions, rather than obsessing over results which are often beyond our control. This mindset doesn't mean we stop caring about outcomes. Instead, it encourages us to invest our energy where it truly matters, freeing us from the anxiety and disappointment that come from tying our self-worth to external success or failure. Think about it this way: when you pour your heart into a project, whether it's a work assignment, a creative endeavor, or even a personal goal, the outcome isn't always guaranteed. You might face setbacks, unexpected obstacles, or even outright failure. But if your focus is solely on the result, you're setting yourself up for frustration. The Stoics remind us that the only thing we truly own is our effort. By shifting our attention to the process, how we show up, how we learn, and how we grow, we cultivate a sense of inner peace that isn't shaken by external circumstances. For example, imagine you're training for a marathon. You've put in months of hard work, following a strict regimen and pushing yourself to improve. But on race day, something goes wrong. Maybe the weather is terrible, or you get injured halfway through. If your happiness depends solely on finishing the race, you'll likely feel crushed. But if you focus on the effort you've put in, the discipline you've built, and the progress you've made, you can still walk away with a sense of accomplishment. The outcome doesn't define you, your commitment and resilience do. This principle is especially valuable in today's results-driven world, where success is often measured by external markers like promotions, accolades, or social media validation. When we detach from these outcomes, we free ourselves from the constant pressure to prove our worth. Instead, we find fulfillment in the journey itself, the small, daily acts of courage, persistence, and integrity that shape who we are. Detaching from outcomes also helps us handle rejection and failure with grace. When we understand that results are influenced by countless factors beyond our control, we're less likely to take setbacks personally. A job rejection, for instance, doesn't mean you're not talented or capable. It simply means the timing or fit wasn't right. By focusing on the effort you put into your application and interview, you can walk away with confidence, knowing you did your best. Ultimately, this Stoic lesson is about reclaiming your power. When you stop letting external outcomes dictate your happiness, you gain a deeper sense of freedom and resilience. You learn to measure success not by what happens to you, but by how you respond to it. And as we'll see in the next section, this mindset also helps us let go of perfectionism, allowing us to embrace progress over perfection in every area of life. Now, let's take this idea of detaching from outcomes a step further and explore how it connects to letting go of perfectionism. Perfectionism often stems from the fear of failure or the need to meet impossibly high standards, but Stoicism offers a refreshing perspective. Progress, not perfection, is what truly matters. When we fixate on getting everything exactly right, we risk paralyzing ourselves with fear and self-doubt. Instead, the Stoics encourage us to focus on consistent effort and growth, recognizing that imperfection is a natural part of the human experience. Think about how perfectionism shows up in your life. Maybe you delay starting a project because you're afraid it won't be flawless, or you criticize yourself relentlessly for small mistakes. These habits don't just hold us back, they drain our energy and rob us of the joy of learning and creating. The Stoic approach is to embrace the process, understanding that every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. It's not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. One practical way to let go of perfectionism is to set realistic, incremental goals. Instead of aiming for a flawless presentation at work, focus on improving one aspect of your delivery each time. Celebrate the progress you make, even if it's not perfect. This shift in mindset helps you build confidence and resilience, knowing that growth comes from effort, not from avoiding mistakes. Another powerful Stoic tool is to reframe failure as feedback. When something doesn't go as planned, instead of seeing it as a reflection of your worth, view it as an opportunity to learn and adapt. For example, if a project at work doesn't meet your expectations, ask yourself, what can I take away from this experience? How can I improve next time? By treating setbacks as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks, you cultivate a healthier relationship with imperfection. It's also important to practice self-compassion. The Stoics believed in treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we'd offer a friend. When you make a mistake, remind yourself that it's part of being human. You're not defined by your errors, but by how you respond to them. This gentle approach helps you stay motivated and resilient, even when things don't go perfectly. Ultimately, letting go of perfectionism is about reclaiming your freedom. When you stop chasing an unattainable ideal, you open yourself up to creativity, joy, and meaningful progress. You begin to see that life isn't about being flawless, it's about being fully present and engaged in the journey. And as we'll explore next, this mindset also prepares us to face adversity with strength and adaptability, building the resilience we need to thrive in an unpredictable world. Now, let's shift our focus to one of the most powerful tools in the Stoic toolkit, preparing for adversity. The Stoics called this practice premeditatio malorum, which translates to the premeditation of evils or challenges. At its core, this practice is about mentally rehearsing potential difficulties before they happen, so you're better equipped to handle them when they arise. It's not about dwelling on negativity or expecting the worst. It's about building mental resilience and adaptability by facing life's uncertainties head-on. Imagine this, you're about to give a big presentation at work. Instead of letting anxiety take over, you take a moment to visualize what could go wrong. Maybe the projector malfunctions or you forget a key point. By picturing these scenarios in advance, you're not caught off guard if they happen. Instead, you've already thought through how you'd respond calmly and effectively. This is the essence of premeditatio malorum. It's like a mental dress rehearsal for life's challenges. The Stoics believed that by preparing for adversity, we strip away the element of surprise that often amplifies stress and fear. When we've already considered the worst-case scenarios, we're less likely to be overwhelmed by them. This practice doesn't just help us stay calm in the moment, it also builds a deeper sense of confidence and control. Knowing that you've thought through potential obstacles gives you a sense of readiness no matter what comes your way. One way to apply this practice is through visualization exercises. Take a few minutes each day to reflect on possible challenges in your life, whether it's a difficult conversation, a financial setback, or a personal loss. Picture yourself navigating these situations with composure and strength. How would you respond? What steps would you take? By mentally preparing for these moments, you're training your mind to stay grounded and resourceful even in tough times. Another aspect of premeditatio malorum is accepting that adversity is an inevitable part of life. The Stoics remind us that challenges aren't just obstacles, they're opportunities to grow. When we embrace this mindset, we stop seeing adversity as something to avoid and start seeing it as a chance to practice resilience, patience, and wisdom. This shift in perspective can transform how we approach difficulties, turning them into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Ultimately, preparing for adversity is about cultivating a mindset of readiness and adaptability. It's about recognizing that life is unpredictable, but we have the power to respond with strength and clarity. By practicing premeditatio malorum, we build the mental toughness needed to face whatever comes our way, knowing that we've already done the work to prepare. And as we'll explore next, this practice also lays the foundation for creating a personal resilience plan, equipping us with even more tools to thrive in an ever-changing world. Now that we've explored the concept of premeditatio malorum and its power to prepare us for life's challenges, let's take it a step further by building a Stoic resilience plan. This plan is your personal toolkit for navigating adversity with strength and clarity, and it starts with intentional preparation. Think of it as a roadmap that helps you stay grounded, no matter what life throws your way. The first step in creating your resilience plan is to identify the areas of your life where you feel most vulnerable. Is it your career, relationships, health, or finances? Once you've pinpointed these areas, take some time to reflect on potential challenges you might face. For example, if you're concerned about your job, consider scenarios like a missed deadline, a difficult conversation with a colleague, or even the possibility of losing your job. The goal here isn't to dwell on negativity, but to prepare yourself mentally so you're not caught off guard. Next, incorporate visualization exercises into your daily routine. Set aside a few minutes each day to mentally rehearse how you'd handle these challenges. Picture yourself responding calmly and effectively, even in the face of setbacks. What would you say or do? How would you stay focused and composed? By visualizing these scenarios, you're training your mind to stay resilient and resourceful when real-life challenges arise. Another key element of your resilience plan is to develop a set of Stoic principles to guide your actions. For instance, remind yourself of the Stoic distinction between what you can control and what you can't. When adversity strikes, focus your energy on your thoughts, actions, and reactions, the things within your control, rather than wasting energy on external events. This mindset shift alone can help you maintain a sense of calm and clarity in difficult moments. Additionally, consider creating a list of affirmations or reminders that reinforce your resilience. These could be quotes from Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus, or simple statements that resonate with you, such as, "I am prepared for whatever comes my way," or "Challenges are opportunities to grow." Keep these reminders somewhere visible, like on your phone or a sticky note, so you can revisit them whenever you need a boost of strength. Finally, make reflection a regular part of your resilience plan. At the end of each day, take a few moments to review how you handled challenges. Did you stay true to your Stoic principles? What worked well and what could you improve? This daily practice of self-assessment helps you refine your approach and build confidence in your ability to face adversity. By combining these elements, visualization, Stoic principles, affirmations, and reflection, you'll create a resilience plan that equips you to handle life's uncertainties with grace and strength. And as we move forward, we'll explore how this foundation of resilience ties into the broader Stoic practice of living in harmony with nature, helping you find balance and purpose in an ever-changing world. Now that we've built a strong foundation of resilience, let's turn our attention to a core Stoic principle that ties everything together: living according to nature. This idea might sound abstract at first, but at its heart, it's about aligning your life with the natural order of the universe and recognizing your place within it. For the Stoics, living in harmony with nature meant living in accordance with reason, virtue, and the interconnectedness of all things. To understand this concept, think of nature not just as the physical world around us, but as the broader system of life and the universe. The Stoics believed that everything in nature has a purpose and follows a rational order. As humans, our unique gift is the ability to reason, and living according to nature means using that reason to guide our actions, decisions, and values. It's about embracing our role as part of something greater and finding fulfillment by contributing to the whole. One way to apply this principle is by cultivating a sense of humility and perspective. Recognize that you are a small but meaningful part of a vast, interconnected universe. This perspective can help you let go of ego-driven desires and focus on what truly matters, living virtuously and in alignment with your values. For example, instead of chasing external validation or material success, you might prioritize kindness, integrity, and the well-being of others. Living according to nature also means accepting the natural flow of life, including its ups and downs. Just as the seasons change and the tides rise and fall, life is full of cycles and impermanence. The Stoics taught that resisting this natural rhythm only leads to frustration and suffering. Instead, by embracing change and understanding that challenges are part of the natural order, you can approach life with greater peace and adaptability. Another key aspect of this lesson is simplicity. The Stoics valued a life free from excess and distraction, one that allows you to focus on what's essential. In today's fast-paced, technology-driven world, this might mean intentionally stepping back from the noise and clutter of modern life. Consider how you can simplify your routines, reduce unnecessary distractions, and reconnect with the natural world, whether that's spending time outdoors, practicing mindfulness, or decluttering your physical and mental space. Ultimately, living according to nature is about finding balance and purpose. It's about recognizing that you are part of a larger whole and that your actions have ripple effects. By aligning your life with reason, virtue, and the natural order, you can cultivate a sense of harmony and fulfillment that transcends external circumstances. And as we'll explore next, this principle of balance extends into how we navigate the complexities of modern life, helping us find clarity and meaning in an ever-changing world. Now that we've explored the Stoic principle of living according to nature, let's take a closer look at how we can apply this wisdom to find balance in the chaos of modern life. In a world that's constantly pulling us in 100 different directions, simplicity and focus are more important than ever. The Stoics believed that a life aligned with nature is one free from unnecessary distractions, and this idea is just as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. Start by taking a step back and evaluating your daily routines. Are there habits or activities that drain your energy without adding real value to your life? Maybe it's endlessly scrolling through social media, overcommitting to obligations, or filling your schedule with tasks that don't align with your priorities. The first step toward balance is identifying these distractions and intentionally reducing them. This doesn't mean you have to give up everything you enjoy, but rather focus on what truly matters and let go of the rest. One practical way to simplify is by creating boundaries around your time and attention. For example, set specific times for checking emails or social media and stick to them. Designate periods of the day for focused work or meaningful activities and protect those times from interruptions. By doing this, you're not only reclaiming your time, but also creating space for deeper connection with yourself and the world around you. Another key aspect of finding balance is reconnecting with nature. In our fast-paced, technology-driven lives, it's easy to feel disconnected from the natural world. But spending time outdoors, whether it's a walk in the park, a hike in the mountains, or simply sitting under a tree, can help ground you and remind you of your place in the larger scheme of things. Nature has a way of putting things into perspective, helping you let go of stress and refocus on what's truly important. Mindfulness is another powerful tool for living simply and reducing distractions. Take a few moments each day to pause, breathe, and reflect on your thoughts and actions. Ask yourself, are my choices aligned with my values? Am I living in a way that brings me closer to harmony and fulfillment? These small moments of reflection can help you stay grounded and intentional, even in the midst of a busy day. Finally, consider decluttering not just your physical space, but also your mental and emotional space. Let go of grudges, worries, and attachments that no longer serve you. The Stoics taught that holding on to unnecessary baggage only weighs us down. By releasing what you don't need, you create room for clarity, peace, and growth. Finding balance in modern life isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about making small, intentional choices that bring you closer to living in harmony with nature and your values. And as we'll see in the next lesson, this sense of balance is closely tied to another essential Stoic practice, cultivating self-discipline. By mastering our impulses and staying focused on what truly matters, we can navigate life's challenges with greater ease and purpose. Now, let's turn our attention to a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, self-discipline. At its core, self-discipline is about mastering your impulses and aligning your actions with your values. The Stoics believed that true freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want in the moment, but from having the strength to choose what's right, even when it's difficult. This might sound counterintuitive, but think about it: how often do impulsive decisions lead to regret or distraction? Self-discipline, on the other hand, gives you the power to stay focused on what truly matters, even when life throws temptations your way. One of the key ideas in Stoicism is that self-discipline isn't about deprivation or punishment. It's about creating a life of purpose and clarity. When you practice self-discipline, you're not just resisting distractions, you're actively choosing to invest your time and energy in things that align with your long-term goals and values. For example, instead of giving in to the urge to procrastinate, you might choose to tackle an important task first thing in the morning. Or instead of mindlessly scrolling through your phone, you might decide to spend that time reading, reflecting, or connecting with loved ones. These small choices add up, helping you build a life that feels intentional and fulfilling. But let's be honest, self-discipline isn't always easy. We all face moments when it feels much simpler to give in to temptation or take the path of least resistance. That's why the Stoics emphasize the importance of practice. Just like building physical strength, developing self-discipline takes consistent effort. Start small. Maybe it's committing to a daily habit, like waking up at the same time every morning or setting aside 10 minutes for meditation. Over time, these small acts of discipline will strengthen your ability to stay focused and resist distractions, even when the stakes are higher. Another important aspect of self-discipline is learning to delay gratification. In a world where instant results are often expected, this can feel like a challenge. But the Stoics remind us that the most meaningful rewards often come from patience and persistence. For instance, instead of seeking quick fixes or shortcuts, focus on the long-term benefits of your efforts. Whether it's saving money, improving a skill, or building a relationship, the discipline to stay the course will ultimately lead to greater satisfaction and success. It's also worth noting that self-discipline isn't about being rigid or inflexible. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes you'll need to adapt to changing circumstances. The key is to stay grounded in your values and priorities, even when plans shift. This balance between discipline and adaptability is what allows you to navigate challenges with resilience and grace. Ultimately, self-discipline is a tool for creating freedom, not just from external distractions, but from the internal chaos of impulsive desires. By practicing self-discipline, you gain control over your thoughts and actions, allowing you to live with greater clarity, purpose, and peace. And as we'll explore in the next lesson, this sense of inner control is closely tied to another powerful Stoic practice, the habit of daily reflection. By regularly assessing your progress and aligning your actions with your values, you can continue to grow and thrive even in the face of life's challenges. Now that we've explored the importance of self-discipline, let's dive into some practical ways to strengthen your self-control. One of the most effective strategies is to start small. Instead of overwhelming yourself with big, ambitious goals, focus on setting small, achievable ones. For example, if you want to build a habit of exercising regularly, begin with just 10 minutes a day. These small wins create momentum and make it easier to stay consistent over time. Remember, self-discipline is like a muscle. It grows stronger with regular use, but it needs to be trained gradually. Another powerful tool for building self-control is creating routines. Routines reduce decision fatigue by automating positive behaviors. When you establish a consistent schedule, you're less likely to waste energy debating whether or not to do something. For instance, if you commit to writing for 20 minutes every morning, it becomes a natural part of your day rather than a constant battle of willpower. Over time, these routines become second nature, freeing up mental space for more important decisions. It's also helpful to identify and remove distractions. Take a moment to reflect on what typically pulls you off track, whether it's your phone, social media, or a cluttered workspace, and take steps to minimize those interruptions. For example, you might set your phone to Do Not Disturb during focused work sessions or create a dedicated, organized space for your tasks. By eliminating these obstacles, you make it easier to stay disciplined and focused on your priorities. Another key aspect of strengthening self-control is practicing mindfulness. When you're mindful, you're more aware of your impulses and can pause before acting on them. This pause gives you the opportunity to make intentional choices rather than reacting out of habit. Simple practices like deep breathing or taking a moment to reflect before making a decision can help you stay grounded and in control. Finally, don't underestimate the power of accountability. Sharing your goals with a friend, family member, or mentor can provide motivation and support. Knowing that someone else is aware of your commitments can help you stay on track, especially on days when your willpower feels low. You might even consider joining a group or community with similar goals to create a sense of shared purpose and encouragement. By incorporating these strategies into your daily life, you'll gradually build the self-discipline needed to stay focused and aligned with your values. And as we'll see in the next lesson, this foundation of self-control is essential for another powerful Stoic practice, the habit of daily reflection. By regularly assessing your progress and aligning your actions with your goals, you can continue to grow and thrive even in the face of life's challenges. Now that we've explored how self-discipline lays the groundwork for a focused and intentional life, let's turn our attention to a practice that ties it all together: daily reflection. The Stoics believed that taking time each day to reflect on your actions, thoughts, and progress is essential for living a virtuous and fulfilling life. This practice isn't just about looking back, it's about learning, growing, and aligning your actions with your values. Daily reflection allows you to pause and evaluate how well you're living up to your principles. It's a moment to ask yourself questions like, did I act with integrity today? Or, where did I fall short and how can I improve? By doing this, you create a feedback loop that helps you stay on track and make better decisions in the future. Think of it as a daily check-in with yourself, a way to ensure you're moving closer to the person you aspire to be. One of the most powerful aspects of this practice is its ability to help you recognize patterns in your behavior. For example, you might notice that certain situations trigger impatience or frustration, or that you tend to procrastinate when faced with a particular type of task. By identifying these patterns, you can start to address them proactively rather than letting them control you. Reflection gives you the clarity to see where you're excelling and where you need to put in more effort. To make daily reflection a habit, consider setting aside a specific time each day for this practice. Many Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, did this in the evening, using the quiet moments before bed to review their day. You might also find it helpful to keep a journal, writing down your thoughts and observations. This not only helps you process your experiences, but also creates a record of your growth over time. Over weeks and months, you'll be able to look back and see how far you've come, which can be incredibly motivating. Another key benefit of daily reflection is its ability to cultivate gratitude. As you review your day, take a moment to acknowledge the things that went well and the people who supported you. This simple act of gratitude can shift your perspective, helping you focus on the positive aspects of your life rather than dwelling on what went wrong. It's a reminder that even on challenging days, there's always something to be thankful for. Ultimately, daily reflection is about taking ownership of your life. It's a practice that empowers you to learn from your mistakes, celebrate your successes, and continually strive to live in alignment with your values. And as we'll see in the next lesson, this habit of reflection is closely tied to another Stoic principle, valuing time over possessions. By reflecting on how you spend your days, you gain a deeper appreciation for the preciousness of time and the importance of using it wisely. Now that we've explored the importance of daily reflection, let's dive into how you can create a reflection routine that works for you. Establishing this habit doesn't have to be complicated. It's about finding a method that fits seamlessly into your life and helps you grow. Here's a step-by-step guide to get started. First, choose a consistent time for reflection. Many people find that the evening works best, as it allows you to review the day while it's still fresh in your mind. However, if mornings feel more natural to you, that's perfectly fine too. The key is to pick a time when you can be alone with your thoughts, free from distractions. Next, create a quiet space where you can reflect without interruptions. This could be a cozy corner of your home, a park bench, or even your car if that's where you find peace. The environment matters because it sets the tone for introspection. Make it a space where you feel calm and focused. Once you've settled into your reflection time, begin by asking yourself a few guiding questions. These prompts can help structure your thoughts and ensure you're covering the most important areas. For example, you might ask, what went well today? To focus on your successes, or what could I have done differently to identify areas for improvement? Other questions like, did I act in alignment with my values? Or what am I grateful for today? Can deepen your self-awareness and foster gratitude. Writing down your reflections can be incredibly powerful. Journaling not only helps you process your thoughts, but also creates a record of your progress over time. If you're new to journaling, start simple. You don't need to write pages, just a few sentences or bullet points can be enough. Over time, you might find that your reflections become more detailed as you grow more comfortable with the practice. Another technique is to use a structured format for your journal entries. For instance, you could divide your reflections into 3 sections: what you learned, what you're grateful for, and what you'll improve tomorrow. This approach keeps your reflections focused and actionable, helping you turn insights into tangible steps for growth. If you're someone who prefers a more visual approach, consider using a reflection app or even voice memos to capture your thoughts. The medium doesn't matter as much as the act of reflecting itself. What's important is that you're taking the time to pause, evaluate, and learn from your experiences. Finally, be patient with yourself. Building a reflection routine takes time, and it's okay if it feels awkward at first. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Even a few minutes of reflection each day can have a profound impact on your mindset and your ability to live intentionally. As you continue this practice, you'll likely notice a shift in how you approach your days. Reflection helps you become more mindful of your actions, more grateful for the good in your life, and more resilient in the face of challenges. And as we move into the next lesson, we'll explore how this habit of reflection ties into the Stoic principle of valuing time over possessions, helping you make the most of every moment. Now that we've explored the power of daily reflection, let's shift our focus to a Stoic principle that can transform how we live, valuing time over possessions. The Stoics believed that time is our most precious resource, far more valuable than material wealth or status. Unlike possessions which can be lost or replaced, time is finite and irreplaceable. Once it's gone forever. This lesson invites us to rethink our priorities and invest our time in what truly matters. Think about it: how often do we chase after things that don't bring lasting fulfillment? A new gadget, a bigger house, or the latest fashion trend might give us a temporary thrill, but these things rarely contribute to a meaningful life. The Stoics remind us that true wealth isn't measured by what we own, but by how we spend our time. Are we using our days to grow, connect, and contribute, or are we wasting them on distractions that leave us feeling empty? One way to apply this lesson is to focus on experiences rather than things. Research shows that people derive more happiness from experiences like traveling, learning a new skill, or spending quality time with loved ones than from material possessions. Experiences create memories, foster connections, and often align with our deeper values. They remind us that life is about living, not accumulating. Another key aspect of valuing time is learning to say no. In a world full of demands and distractions, it's easy to overcommit and spread ourselves too thin. But every time we say yes to something that doesn't align with our priorities, we're saying no to something that does. The Stoics encourage us to be intentional with our time, choosing activities and relationships that enrich our lives and letting go of those that drain us. Practicing gratitude can also help us appreciate the time we have. Instead of focusing on what we lack, we can shift our attention to the moments that bring us joy and fulfillment. Whether it's a quiet morning with a cup of coffee, a meaningful conversation with a friend, or the satisfaction of completing a project, these small moments remind us that time well spent is the foundation of a fulfilling life. As we move forward, we'll explore practical strategies for prioritizing time wisely, so you can make the most of every moment. But for now, take a moment to reflect: how are you spending your time? Are you investing it in what truly matters to you? Remember, time is the one resource you can't get back, so use it wisely. Now that we've reflected on the value of time, let's dive into practical strategies to help you prioritize it wisely. One of the most effective ways to manage your time is by setting clear boundaries. This means defining what deserves your attention and what doesn't. For example, if you find yourself constantly checking emails or scrolling through social media, consider designating specific times for these activities. By creating boundaries, you reclaim control over your time and prevent distractions from stealing your focus. Another powerful tool is learning to say no. It's easy to fall into the trap of overcommitting, whether it's at work, in relationships, or with social obligations. But every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your priorities, you're saying no to something that does. The Stoics remind us that time is finite, so it's essential to be selective about where we invest it. Saying no isn't about being selfish, it's about being intentional. It's about protecting your time so you can dedicate it to what truly matters. Focusing on what truly matters also means identifying your core values and aligning your actions with them. Take a moment to ask yourself, what brings me the most fulfillment? Is it spending time with family, pursuing a passion, or contributing to a cause you care about? Once you've identified these priorities, structure your days around them. This might mean scheduling time for meaningful activities first before tackling less important tasks. By doing this, you ensure that your time is spent on what enriches your life rather than what merely fills it. Another strategy is to break your time into manageable chunks. Instead of trying to tackle everything at once, divide your day into focused blocks dedicated to specific tasks. This approach, often called time blocking, helps you stay organized and prevents overwhelm. For instance, you might dedicate one block to work, another to exercise, and another to relaxation. By giving each activity its own space, you create a sense of balance and purpose in your day. Finally, don't underestimate the power of reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to review how you spent your time. Did your actions align with your priorities? If not, what can you adjust tomorrow? This simple practice helps you stay accountable and ensures that your time is being used in ways that bring you closer to a fulfilling life. As we move forward, we'll explore another Stoic lesson that builds on these ideas, embracing impermanence. But for now, take these strategies and start applying them. Remember, time is your most valuable resource. How you spend it shapes the life you create. Now that we've explored how to prioritize time wisely, let's turn our attention to a profound Stoic lesson, embracing impermanence. The Stoics remind us that everything in life is temporary: our possessions, our relationships, even our own lives. While this might sound unsettling at first, this perspective is actually liberating. It teaches us to appreciate what we have while we have it and to let go of attachments that can weigh us down. Think about it. When we cling too tightly to things, people, or outcomes, we set ourselves up for unnecessary suffering. The Stoics believed that by accepting the transient nature of life, we can find peace and freedom. For example, imagine holding a handful of sand. If you grip it too tightly, the sand slips through your fingers. But if you hold it gently, you can enjoy it without losing it too soon. Life works the same way. By loosening our grip, we learn to cherish moments without fearing their end. This mindset also helps us navigate loss and change with greater resilience. When we understand that nothing lasts forever, we're better prepared to face challenges. Whether it's the end of a job, a relationship, or even a phase of life, the Stoic perspective encourages us to see these changes as natural and inevitable. Instead of resisting them, we can adapt and grow. This doesn't mean we stop caring. It means we care deeply while remaining open to the flow of life. One practical way to embrace impermanence is through daily reflection. Take a moment each day to remind yourself that today is a gift. Reflect on the people and experiences you're grateful for, knowing they won't last forever. This practice not only deepens your appreciation, but also helps you let go of the need to control every outcome. It's about finding joy in the present, even as you acknowledge its fleeting nature. As we move forward, we'll continue to explore how Stoic principles can guide us toward a more fulfilling life. But for now, consider this: by embracing impermanence, you're not giving up on life, you're learning to live it more fully. Let this lesson inspire you to savor each moment, knowing that its impermanence is what makes it so precious. As we come to the end of our journey through these 20 Stoic lessons, it's clear that Stoicism offers more than just philosophy. It provides a practical guide for living a fulfilling life. From focusing on what we can control to embracing impermanence, each lesson is a stepping stone toward greater resilience, gratitude, and inner peace. Together, these principles form a powerful framework for navigating life's challenges with wisdom and grace. The beauty of Stoicism lies in its simplicity and universality. Whether you're facing a difficult decision, dealing with loss, or simply striving to live more intentionally, these lessons remind us that fulfillment comes from within. By practicing self-discipline, reflecting daily, and valuing time over possessions, we can cultivate a life of purpose and meaning. Now, it's your turn to take these lessons and make them your own. Start small, choose one or two principles to focus on and see how they transform your perspective. Share your experiences in the comments below. What lessons resonated most with you? How have they impacted your life? Your stories inspire others and create a community of like-minded individuals striving to live better. If you found value in this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more Stoic wisdom. Together, let's continue this journey toward a more fulfilling life, one lesson at a time. Thank you for watching, and remember, the power to live well is always within your grasp.